go. Well, hey, man, it's Jamithatsme here. Welcome back to my channel. Listen, I got some more stuff to talk to y'all about when it comes to Love Island. So let's go ahead and get into it. All right, y'all. First thing is first. Let's talk about Giovanni, okay? Giovanni got a chance to do an exclusive interview with the ladies over at After the Island, okay? And I took a few little things, I jotted down a few little things that I wanted to talk to you guys about. In addition to that, Miss Florita herself was also doing an exclusive interview with the ladies over at After the Island. So we're going to get into that and some questionable things going on with Cinco and the drop as well, okay? The drop was giving it wasn't really giving a lot of drops, but we'll go ahead and talk about that, all right? So when it comes to Giovanni felt as though he was played by Miss Cash, okay? He felt as though Cash was his third best friend in the house. I believe the first person was Cinco, and then the next person after that, I think he said it was Jeremy or Josh or one of the two, and then his, the lady best friend would have been Miss Cash. Everybody else just fell in line. They pretty much got in where they could fit in for the most part when it comes down to Giovanni. Now, he said that he has massaged Miss Cash's feet. Okay, he has wiped her tears from her eyes. He has encouraged her when she was not feeling her best. Okay, Giovanni felt as though he was really there for our girl Cash, and Cash turned around and played him in the end. I'm gonna agree with Giovanni on this, y'all. Okay, listen, I'm gonna agree. Now I know Olivia is your girl, but you could have clued this man in on a little bit, because remember, she did have the conversation with him, and when he asked her, "Has Olivia talked to you about me? What are her thoughts?" She really didn't give him the wholehearted truth, right? So I do feel like she kind of played him a little bit. Like when they picked Olivia, why did y'all not pick Giovanni? He said something like, "Well, the guys was kind of trying to set it up for the girls when they chose Olivia, so it was kind of like, duh, pick Giovanni." But they ended up picking Jeremy. And I'm like, y'all have seen how Jeremy has moved throughout this house this entire time. Is Jeremy really looking for love? And all of a sudden he opened up to Miss Florita, and y'all decided to choose him. Who the hell made that executive decision? Because I refuse to believe that it was Trina and Cash. Okay, was it Kira and Shannon that chose to keep Jeremy, or was Shannon more adamant about keeping Jeremy because that's Josh's best friend? What the serious? I felt the way about it, but whatever. Y'all don't let Giovanni go home, and y'all know this man ain't get a fair chance at love, but Jeremy done ran through all these different women in the house, and y'all gonna sit up there and pick him? Girl, good night. All right. So like I said, she played him. I feel like all of them ladies sitting up there, all four of them played you, Giovanni. All four of them did, not just Miss Thing, all four of them. I said what I said. What else did he say? He says that he knew he was going home. He said, "I knew I was going home based on the conversations that I was hearing around the house." So he kind of already had an inkling that he was going to go home, but he wasn't mad about it. He was glad. He was happy. He did wish that Olivia would have freed him from her. I guess freed him from the contract sooner than later, because he would have been able to get out there to meet new people. But unfortunately, he was trying to hang in there with her, and people started coupling up, starting choosing who they wanted to be with. So it made it a little difficult. He wished he would have knew earlier on that she wasn't feeling him. And I honestly feel like Olivia kept Giovanni around as a safety. I do believe she did that, and then got shook up and shocked when this whole thing transpired, where they had to choose individuals that would stay versus who would go. What else did we learn? He also says that when it comes to, what did he say? He says that Cinco was like his best friend in the house, and that Cinco is more into Cash than he is into Trina. Okay, because Cash is more outgoing, whereas Trina is more of a homebody. Okay, so yeah, he thinks that he should make up his mind and go ahead and choose Cash, because ultimately that is exactly who he wants to be with. Now he says boldly, which was very interesting for me, boldly, he says he thinks that the connection between Will and Kira is fake. Let me go and wipe my nose on there, okay, y'all? My nose running just a little bit. All right, now, this is what he's saying. He says that he believes that Kira and Will's connection is fake. I feel like this ain't the first time I've heard this. Okay, maybe I've heard it on Twitter. Maybe you guys have said it. All right. He says he doesn't believe Kira is truly Will's type. He says that Will is Colombian. He may have a particular type, and he doesn't believe that Kira technically fits that mold. So it makes me think that Trina and Kira have a lot in common with being homebodies, wanting to just be cuddled up, wanting to be kissy, kissy, kissy poo, wanting to be hopeless romantic, and all of this. So that's why he thinks that Miss Kira is not Will's type, and I feel like it goes in alignment as to why he thinks Miss Trina is not Cinco's type. So I feel like if they brought a more outgoing girl to the bunch, that Will just might have his head turned, as it looked like he was having his head turned a little bit last night with Miss Flo and a teeny little bit of Miss Leslie. And it seemed like everybody was on Miss Leslie head. And we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into that. Okay. What else did we learn? He says that he feels as though Shannon and Josh have a real connection. Everybody is saying that. No, they don't. I'm sorry. I just disagree. And even if they do and they make it to the end, they better not win, because I'm not voting for them. And I said what I said would. Oh, okay. Yeah. So then what's the next? In addition to that, it seems like a lot of people on social media wanted Giovanni to hook up with Sally. Sally is from season 2. And it's funny because she'll be going from a Johnny to a Giovanni. That is so funny. So Sally, so cute. Love her. Love Justine. Love that they're best friends. Love everything about it. And, you know, they're trying to see if those two would be able to hook up. So he said he actually spoke with Sally, talked to her on the phone and everything. And where they are is they're going to just take the time to really get to know each other, not rush into anything, and just see what can build from there. Are y'all thinking that Giovanni's going to be able to handle Sally? I don't know where that came from. But then again, I feel like we only got to see one side of Giovanni, which is the side that plays a lot. And I don't know if Sally's going to want that all the time. I feel like she's going to want somebody that's actually serious at some point. I feel like as a friend, Giovanni is amazing with how he comforted Cash and everything. But I feel like he gets really awkward when it's with somebody that he actually likes. So we'll see. I really hope, and y'all may not like this, but CBS, I hope you're listening. I would love for them to do another show. I understand the girls already have the name called After the Island, but maybe they could create another name and allow some of the couples, maybe let America vote on what couples we would like to see go to another island. And maybe not an island, but maybe a resort in the United States. And see certain singles link up and see if there'll be a match based on these past 3 seasons. Let us choose a few people, a good 5 girls, a good 5 guys, and let's start them off and just see. We don't have to really bring in no Casa More and all that. Maybe y'all figure out y'all twist. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts. But I would not mind seeing some of those individuals that didn't work out. Maybe it's like the top few couples. Like when it came down to like the final decision of who's gonna be what. Maybe bring those people back, or maybe bring back the people that we felt did not get a fair chance, like Giovanni, who did not get a fair chance at love. So maybe bring those individuals back. But I wouldn't mind seeing it. I ain't gonna be mad at it. You know what I'm saying? Just let us vote. Let's create something extra. And I feel like that because when I watch it, 90 Day Fiance, child, they got before the 90 days, after the 90 days, 90 days out of America, 90 days in Canada. Like, girl, they got so many 90 days that I'm like, y'all can create another Love Island. I said what I said. Let's move on. Okay. Let's get into Miss Florita. Miss Florita. She also got a chance to interview with the ladies over there, and what we learned is that she called Cinco her big brother, so they were pretty close. Her big little brother. I guess she's older than him, so he's like her big little brother. She also was close with Isaiah as a friend. She made sure to specify that in the interview as a friend. Nobody get any questions here, okay? I'm not interested by far. We were just cool. We saw each other. That was it. All right. She elaborated on why she switched from Jeremy to Corey, because at one point, you know, when she left the villa, she was so gung-ho about Jeremy. But she changed her mind, and everybody like, girl, why are you switching up? Why are you over here talking about you would have rather have been with Corey, girl? What is that about? Well, she said that she always have had feelings for Corey, and that door had never been closed. It never closed by any means. Okay. She said, so when she got a chance to get home and watch more episodes, she saw episodes where she was able to see Jeremy for who he is and how he handled the situation with Trina and other ladies. And, you know, how quick it was so easy, like how he was with Trina and Amy, how quick it was for him to kind of like just be like, I'm good, I'm over this, let's move on. How quick he moved on or whatever, or became not interested in the ladies, right? She also says that, she said that was a red flag. That was really interesting. That was a red flag for her, because being inside of the villa, she just didn't see that. She had to go out on the outside and watch it and see, you know, what it was. I'm so glad that she saw him for who he was when she left, though, because even she was in the villa. So now when she comes out, she's watching this show, she sees it for what it is, things starting to connect more. And she was actually in the villa to you know, connect the dots, whereas we're on the outside looking in. So I'm glad that she kind of was able to see where America was coming from with our thought processes of Jeremy. So I was glad about that. And it pissed me off yet again after hearing her talk about him as to why the ladies kept him on the show. Why? Okay, don't understand what that's about. A lot of people say that his dad works for CBS or he has some type of connection. I don't give a damn. He still should have been aboard mission and gone ahead and hop off the plane. That's what should have happened. All right. Now, Florita says she also watched the part when Jeremy called her a liar. That was a big turnoff for her because remember she had a conversation with him about him saying that he's just Amy and he are friends or whatever the thing was. She went back and told Amy. I honestly, although I'm not a fan of Jeremy, I did not think that that's how he worded things to her, as if he and Amy were just friends. I think he was trying to say it as we have a really strong friendship connection, which could build us into a relationship. So I think we're at a great place. She went back and relayed the message differently. But at the end of the day, he did sit up there and call you a liar. So why would you sit up there and choose that person? And then it took her to get out of the house for her to realize that when it's like, girl, you should have realized that when Amy told you that when y'all had the conversation in the dressing room. You already realized he was lying, but you played it up like, oh, you want me to go have a conversation with him? You want me to go talk to him about it? No, Amy should have been present so she could go ahead and get everybody lies straight. But you really went to go have a conversation with him, not so much as him calling you a liar at the time, which you were aware of. You went to go have a conversation with him to really get to know him. So I feel like you had ulterior motives. And at the end of the day, unfortunately, you were the one that ended up getting played. And then now you're outside of the house. You want to watch it how we're watching it. And then you're like, oh my God, and he called me a liar? I should have stuck with with Corey. Yeah, you should have. You should have stuck with Corey. But okay, girl, you did. All right, let's go ahead and move on. What else did she say? She said she was surprised that Jeremy did not leave with her. I was surprised too, because if he acted so crazy about you and then once you left, he's moping around the house as if he's really unhappy, then why didn't he just leave and give that spot to Giovanni? Why didn't he do that? No, he stayed in the house because he was ready to get to know and get to meet more ladies, okay? Because as soon as the call, some more girls came in, he slowly forgot about you, Miss Florita, okay? What else do we have here? She says that she has not watched any of the new episodes yet because she doesn't want to see Corey connect with other women. She's not ready. So when she gets to a place where she can watch it, she's going to watch it. But right now, she doesn't want to watch it because she's not ready to see all of that. She also goes on to say that she thinks that Shannon and Josh are the strongest couple in the villa, but it's because they've been through things. And I'm like, and so? Just because they've been through stuff, I mean, and Mackenzie and Connor had been through stuff. Was they really the best couple in the villa at the time, girl? But I guess, I mean, you know, that's what you see on a daily basis, girl, I guess. But she also said something interesting, right? And it connects back with what Giovanni said and what I said. She said 2 of the weakest couples in the house is Will and Kira, as well as Trina and Cinco. And I feel like it's, again, for what I said earlier, the same reasons, okay? Kira and Trina are like the same person. They like to be snuggled up, kissed up, cuddled up, booed up, all that, and they're homebodies. But the guys may be a bit more adventurous and want to do other things and want to challenge. They may not feel like they're being challenged by those ladies, okay? She goes on to say that she thinks Will is bored. She says she thinks he is bored with Kira. And I'm like, wow. A lot of people are saying this. Whether they show this on camera or not to us, quite a few people in the house is saying this, okay, that this man is bored with this girl. And then you got Cinco. She says she feels like Cinco just can't seem to make up his mind. And that's what makes Trina and Cinco the weakest couple. You know, she wasn't there from the beginning to eat. I don't think so. I mean, well, let me not say that. Just know that the end game is she feels as though Cinco can't make up his mind. I feel like Cinco can't make up his mind because Cinco is truly into cash, but doesn't want to hurt Trina's feelings because that's what he told her he wouldn't do. Okay. Well, either way, good luck. Okay. So we get to see the drop. We see Josh have a sit down with Kay. I'm confused as to who chose these 2 individuals to have a sit down, right? I don't necessarily think they have things in common, even though I want to say I don't think they had things in common, even though they had some things in common. So basically, what I'm saying is I don't think there was any chemistry there, but they had a few things in common, right? What did we learn about Josh? Josh wants us to believe that he reads self-help books. I was like, okay, then Josh, maybe you're right. Some part of me don't believe that, but okay. He says that he's a Marvel fan, but not a Marvel fan at the same time because he's never seen Black Panther. Okay, then he goes on to tell us about him having an older sister that's engaged, him growing up with his parents. He is so blessed to have his parents. I don't follow him because I'm blessed to have mine too. Okay. He's blessed to have his parents. They did a lot for him. So basically what I got from Josh was a very privileged child, even though his dad, although he didn't have to work, although Josh didn't have to work, his dad taught him a lot of things. So he was able to still, kind of learn or whatnot and didn't have to do a whole lot. But when it comes to Miss K says, listen, I'm over here trying to break generational curses. Okay. That's what's going on with me. All right. What else did she say? She just talked about, wanting to, design clothes and stuff. He said that he was like really into sports. He wants to be an entrepreneur, but not really sure what field he wants to go into. Because he was into so many sports, I believe basketball, baseball, hockey, whatever, he hasn't been able to travel. I think the only place he's been to has been Canada. And that shocked me a bit because I feel like Josh is a person that's an explorer. So I would have expected him to like really have gotten out of the United States. So I was kind of shocked to hear that. Whereas Miss K has been to some everywhere, honey. I think she said she'd been to Paris. She'd have been to what else was it? She said Paris, Germany. She's named quite a few places. I was like, okay, ma'am, you better be out here traveling, living your best life. But it was a cute conversation between the two, kind of dry, but it was cute at the same time. It was like 22 minutes long. Jeremy was really getting to know a lot about her, which is what I think Jeremy should do a lot. Sitting up there talking about something, he listen to rap music and stuff. But I'm like, it's so funny. He's always like, yeah, I listen to Pop Smoke and this and that. And I'm just laughing a little bit because I'm like, you sit up here listening to this rap music, but don't know nothing about the culture. It's so funny to me. It is so hilarious. That baby said he didn't know what jerk chicken was. I was like, ooh, honey, somebody bring in the jerk. Bring it in. Bring in the jerk chicken for him because he don't know nothing about it, okay? He just knows something about the music and stuff like that. Then he say he like Caribbean music and stuff. I'm like, you like all that music and stuff, but you don't know nothing about their culture. Woo! Good luck. We're going to go ahead and move on. Let me back up. Honey, let me back up off that. Let me back up off it. All right, let's go ahead and get to Raul and Trina because those two individuals got a chance to sit down and get to know each other, which was interesting because Raul never even made it seem like he was interested in Trina at all. Even when he sat down with the guys, the conversation was, hey, I'm feeling Kira and I'm feeling Cash. I believe those were the two individuals that he said. So now he's over here trying to lay it thick just a little bit on Miss Trina. And I feel like he kind of tried to lay it thick a little bit by complimenting her, saying that he really likes her and stuff after she was talking about Cinco for a minute and how she didn't like the situation that she was in. I felt like she did a lot of talking about Cinco, and maybe I'm tripping, or at least when she would bring it up, she would dive deeper instead of, I'm just like, girl, just keep it real quick and let's move on. Don't drag Cinco into this conversation, even if he is asking about him or wanting to know, like, just, keep it cute. But we learned that he's an only child. He has a few siblings. So for him, he's definitely a family man. He wants more kids because at times with him being the only child, he definitely felt lonely. So he wants more kids. Trina says that's cool because she's at a place where she wants to settle down and get married. I'm like, okay, girl, we could tell because everybody be around the house saying that you and Cinco like an old married couple, honey. And it's funny because she ended up mentioning the same thing about the guy she was dating in high school and how it seemed like they were a married couple. You give off that energy to people, Miss Trina. And maybe that's why, guys kind of may run from you, unfortunately, in the beginning. That's probably why, because you may want things to get too serious too soon, too quick. And I don't know if that has anything to do with like abandonment or something, because Miss Trina said that out of nowhere, her parents woke her up and was like, yo, we putting you in boarding school. She was like, what? Yeah, we finna take you to Kenya. While we living over here in California, we finna fly over here to Kenya, find you a school. It only took them a week and let her stay at boarding school with girls and guys. What was the reason? What was the cause? I do not understand, but that's what her parents did. And I was like, what? I mean, it's a tough thing because I feel like it's not that bad to have your children in another country because they get to experience a different type of culture, even though I believe that's her background and stuff. But at the same time, me as a parent, I don't think I would want to be that far away from my child. Like just being in another state, I wouldn't be so cool with it. But if it's for college, like I'll deal. But as a young age, I think she could have been like 14 or something. I couldn't do it. But okay. Yeah, she turned out great. You know, at the end of the day, she turned out just fine. So that's a good thing. But I don't know if that may have, because she said she was so hurt when her parents did this. I don't know if that may have something to do with how she clings on to these men as soon as she gets to know them, and then she gets played. And unfortunately, she operates like a lot of these young ladies do that may have abandonment issues, where they feel like the only thing they have to offer is their sex. But yeah, those are just my thoughts. Either way, honey, good luck. Okay, what else did we learn about them? I'm trying to read. Okay, so Raul talks about how somebody bought him a car after 3 weeks of being. I'm like, Raul, what you out here doing to the ladies that they give you a car in a few weeks, within a month? What you out here doing to the girls? Is that thing thinging like that? Is it thinging like that she got to go and get you a car? Trina said, you want to know what's funny? I bought somebody a car too. And I'm like, Trina, why did you need to say, if he just sat up here and told you that he thinks that was weird, why you gonna tell this man you went and bought somebody else a car? And see, Raul, it was in this moment where I kind of realized you was a little fake for me, okay? So she was like, yeah, I bought somebody else a car. You know, it was like, you know, $2,000 or whatever. And like, you know, he was using my car, and then his job was like, oh, so far from the house or whatever. So I just decided to, you know, buy him a car so that, you know, he won't have to use my car all the time or whatever like that. I felt like his mom. So when she said that, Raul was talking over her, and he said, he was like, oh, you wifey material, you wifey. I'm like, did you not just hear this girl say she felt like she was his damn mama? How the hell you get wifey material out of mama? What? And she went along with it like, you think that's the wifey material? Like, what? I couldn't deal. I was like, okay, when is this conversation over? Okay, she brings up Cinco and Cash, and she wants to go back to the villa and have a conversation with Cinco about it. She said, if it works out, cool. If it doesn't, that's fine. We know she tried. I'm looking at it like, girl, that means you're finna leave the villa alone. That means that you're not even, not the villa, but Casa Amor, you finna leave alone. You ain't even out here trying to get to know somebody else, girl. It ain't nobody else that you out here trying to get to know, see if you can fill up, rub up, kiss up, touch up. You over here stuck on Cinco like Kira over here stuck on Will. Meanwhile, Will lips is stuck on somebody else. Yeah, I can't wait till the next episode. What else do we have going on? All right. That was really it. We started seeing him feed her strawberries and stuff, and she feed him cheese crackers and stuff. And then I think she ends up talking about Cinco a little bit more. And I'm like, cut it. You talking way too much. You need to cut it, girl. That's pretty much what all happened with the drop. We just got to see two separate dates, and I thought that we were gonna see Cinco, Cash, and Charlie. I thought we were gonna see like a date with them, but I guess we're gonna see that on tonight's episode. Either way, I'm here for it. But before I go, speaking of Cinco, what the hell is going on between the sheets and in my home? What is it? Okay. He over here got his lips all up on Miss Leslie, honey. Do y'all see this? He got his lips planted on Miss Leslie. He got his hands on Miss Leslie's. Okay. So I'm wondering what's going on. Now the girls on Twitter is saying that Cinco out here telling Miss Thang, please be in my bed tonight. And I'm like, Cinco, didn't you just tell Miss K that you couldn't really get to know her or do anything like that because you over here having to decide between Miss what's her name, Miss Cash and Miss Trina? And then we see you over here all lovey-dovey. You know what I'm saying? We see you all over here with Miss Leslie. Was this a challenge? See, at first when I saw these pictures on Twitter, I was like, okay, maybe this is a challenge, right? But then when I saw the quote that people were saying that he said, please be in my bed tonight, I was like, ooh. There's trouble, especially if Miss Leslie stay around in some capacity. We don't know if Will's gonna try to choose her. Josh was up there tonguing her down. Like, we just don't. Jeremy may mess around and choose her. Ain't no telling. Either way, honey, good luck. That's all that I got for Love Island. I'm Jamie, that's me. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share my videos, follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Jamie, that's me. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.